life can be compared to solving a complex mathematical equation. Okay. Now imagine you're trying to solve a big mathematical equation. Okay. Now, when you are putting the right steps, if you put the right steps, what happens is every right step that you take, the complex equations become simple. It becomes simpler and it unlocks itself, becoming easier, easier and easier, producing different intermediate results and finally fetching the wonderful result. Yes or no? So in order to solve a complex equation, we need to know what are the right steps. Similarly, our life is also like a big equation which we are supposed to solve. Now, writing the right steps for a problem is analogous to living the right way. Okay, you have the life equation, just like you have a big equation to solve. Now, how do you solve life equation? By learning the right strategies of living. If you live right way, the equation of life unlocks. It opens up. It opens up to its beauty, its potential, and its wonderful things what we could offer to this world. Just like every right step that you put, the complex equation becomes simpler. Similarly, every day of right living, every week of the right behaviors or attitudes that we have in our life, it simplifies the equation of life. In fact, it unlocks the life. It shows us the beauty of life so that we can do something wonderful with our own life and to contribute to others' lives. Okay. So before any delay, let us get into the subject, right? So actually mathematics is quite interesting thing. In fact, everything in this world can be represented with maths. Okay. I will show you one example here. Now here is a video. Please see it carefully.
Rotate them like this. And observe the upper left one. It goes a little bit faster, right? You can see this. And it actually goes exactly 4/3 as fast. And that means that when it goes around 4 times, the other one goes around 3 times. Now, let's make 2 lines and draw this dot where the lines meet. We get this dancing dot around. And this dot comes from that number. Right? Now we should trace it. Let's trace it and see what happens. This is what mathematics is all about. It's about seeing what happens. And this emerges from 4/3. I like to say that this is the image of 4/3.
So what you see here is a beautiful pattern, but then that could be simply represented by a number 4/3. Of course, there is a relationship between 4/3 and the pattern that we have. So in this way, in fact, every design, every event, and every pattern can be represented with maths. Now, today's presentation is a humble attempt to explain explain the how to decode the life's events in such a way that we get wonderful results out of our own life. Okay, so in a mathematical way, let's try that. Yes, world is best classroom. So irrespective of one's nationality, the science of mathematics remains the same. Life is also a science. No matter whoever one is, sacred truths of life are applicable to all equally. Okay, so once there was a battleship which was sailing on a dark night. It was no moon night. It was like it was pitch dark and the sea was rough, and it was a battleship. It was moving on its journey, and because it is so dark, so one of the they call it a signalman and the crew person, he was standing. He was not sleeping in the night. He was making sure that the ship is sailing safely. He was not without sleeping. He was carefully looking at the ship's movement. Suddenly he spots a light coming from some distance. then immediately becomes worried. He sees that light is coming towards the battleship continuously and consistently, and he becomes very perplexed. Hey, what's happening? It looks like we are on a collision track. We are going to get collided with some another ship. I think I have to inform the captain. So immediately he runs to the captain and says, Captain, we are in great danger. What is the danger? There is another ship which is coming towards us, constantly. It is coming, without any deviation, just coming ahead of us. Then the captain says, okay, signal to the other boat, the other ship, that we are a battleship. So he immediately signals to the other ship, saying that, please see, we are a battleship here. We request you, please take a diversion by 20 degrees. Then reply comes, no, sorry, I can't take diversion. Better you take 20 degrees diversion. Then again comes a message. The captain of battleship, he becomes very annoyed and he says that, I am the captain of a battleship. I tell you, please divert your direction by 20 degrees. And then back comes a message. It says, I am a third class a signal man. But I tell you, you better change your direction, course of direction. Then now the captain of battleship becomes very, very upset. You see, I am a battleship. You better hear to me. Then comes the immediately reply. You may be battleship. I am a lighthouse. Lighthouse position can't be changed. It is the battleship which has to take a turn. You see, whether you're a battleship or whether we are a simple boat, hand-drawn simple boat, whatever we may be, the sacred truths of life remain the same. Just like whatever may be the boat, it is the lighthouse which kind of gives you the direction, the right direction. Similarly, whoever we are is what we are trying to say here. No matter who we are, the sacred truths of life are applicable to all of us equally. There are certain values in life, there are certain principles in life which we are supposed to follow so that we can solve the mathematical equation very nicely, of equation of life. So life book is like maths book. Now many times students don't like maths. Why? Because the maths book is full of problems. If you take any mathematics book, what does this book all contain all about? Every page contains so many problems after problems after problems, right? So similarly, all of our lives also, there are so many problems to deal with. So many problems to deal with. But then mathematics teaches something. So here is a statement, nice statement. Mathematics may not teach us how to add love or minus hate. It doesn't. But it does give us every reason to hope that every problem has a solution. Yes, in math book, there are a lot of problems. But then the same math book also gives us a hope that every problem can be solved. Similarly, in all of our lives also, there are so many challenges that all of us do face, especially the particular situation that all of us are in this lockdown, this COVID-19, etc. It's a very challenging situation. However, if we look from mathematical perspective, every problem has a solution. Similarly, maths gives us a hope that every problem can be solved. Now, there are some problems which can't be solved in life. Now, how to deal with it? I'll speak about it after a while. Okay. All right. Now, somebody may say that, sir, my life, there is no problem. Life is quite easy. It's going on very wonderfully. It's very simply, it's going on. So then we have to be careful. Life is like maths. If it goes too easy, something is wrong. Sometimes, you have a tough looking kind of equation, but the answer comes out to be like, no, too easy. I have one experience actually. In one of the exams, one particular problem was supposed to be very difficult, but the answer very simply. Okay. So, so in one of the exams when I was writing, I think this is third year of engineering, it's mathematics paper again. So it was supposed to be a very difficult question. It was 8 marks question. But then suddenly I saw that, it was getting solved like this. And then later I realized I made a mistake. Instead of x square minus 2, I had put x minus 2. So that's why, that integration, particular triple integrals, it was getting solved so easily. So if life seems to go so easy, that means something is wrong. Basically, we are missing out, or we are not able to see certain things. For example, let me explain. Ostrich. Now, ostrich has a particular habit. When tiger chases after ostrich, what ostrich does is, instead of running away from there, it puts its head into the ground. So he puts his head into ground. So eyes are there on the head. So now ostrich is putting its head into ground and it can't see anything, right? So it feels that there is no tiger coming. All right. Now ostrich putting his head into ground and feeling that there is no problem, there is no tiger coming. It's not a reality. It's not a reality. Similarly, all of us, today or tomorrow, there's going to be big problems which are going to come in our life. Always. There are big problems which are there present in life. Then how to deal with them? That's what we are trying to discuss. Problems are there, but if we consider life to be like maths, there are ways to solve it. We are going to discuss about that. Okay. All right. Right formula for bright life. Just like I said, living a happy life is like solving a complex mathematical equation in a right way. If you put one wrong step while solving the equation, what happens? The equation becomes more complex. Situation becomes more tough. Yes or no? Similarly, in life also, when we take right steps, life becomes simplified. Life brings happiness. But then we put wrong steps. Oh, that is the time we see that things become caught up. Yes or no? So we need to apply the right formula so that we can have bright life. Now, one of the big wrong formulae people apply, one of the big wrong formula people apply is this. This is Einstein's statement. Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is a stupid. So what this particular statement is speaking about? Comparison. Comparison is a wrong strategy. So usually, always we compare ourselves with others. So that person is getting this many marks, I'm getting this many marks. So my marks is better than him, so I'm success. So please understand, others' failure is not your success, nor your failure is others' success. Now, even if you feel that you are a success by comparing with somebody else who are having lesser performance, there will be always a person in your life who will be coming, who will outdo you. Then what will happen? If comparison is a strategy that you will apply in your life so that you can feel happy, then you are bound to be miserable one day or the other. This is one problem. The other problem is, many times we see that some people do well in a particular field, and we compare that oh, in that particular field that particular person is doing so well, I think I will also have to do the same thing as that person is doing. So that is like exactly what we are saying here. Now a fish is trying, is looking at a monkey. Monkey is so nicely climbing the tree. And if fish feels that my success is climbing the tree. Now if however hard the fish tries, it can never be successful. Is it not true? So if the definition of success for a fish definition of success for fish is taken wrongly, the whole life will be miserable. Yes or no? Okay. So we need to have the right formula. We need to have right formula. Recently, I heard one very interesting story. So there's a very famous motivational speaker. He was asking the audience a question. Do you know which part of the land is most valuable land in its price? Like, which is most valuable land on planet Earth? Some people rose their hands and they said, "Sir, I think it is the diamonds. Um, what do you call diamond mines in Brazil?" The person said, "No, no, that is not very valuable land." Then somebody else rose their hand and said that, "Sir, I think the Gulf, because a lot of oil is there in that land, that is most valuable land." Then he says, "No, even that is not correct. There is some other land which is most valuable land." Then they were looking at each other's face, they don't have any idea. Then he said, "The cemetery. Cemetery is Smashan Ghat, or burial ground. Burial ground is most valuable land." And everybody was like, "Come on." Is that most valuable land? Who would like to buy that land? It's not so valuable after all. Then he explained, "No, burial ground is most valuable land. Why? Because most people in this world, they die without expressing all their intelligence, without expressing all their abilities, without contributing all the gifts that they have, which they could have offered to this world. So people die without giving out their wonderful God-given talents in the service of society, in service of others, in service of themselves. So people are dying with such valuable ideas. People are dying with, so many wonderful abilities which are unexpressed. Why? Many a times it is because of this wrong comparison. A person is doing that much, how much will I be able to do? Better I'll not do anything. So this wrong comparison actually suppressing many people to express their inherent talents in a right way. So we have to know one very important thing, that every one of us are unique. This is a very, very important principle to understand, because, okay, so all of us are very unique. God has gifted each one of us very, with specific, special qualities which we could offer as a service, which we could offer as a service to the world, to make this world a better place. Now, if we compare ourselves with others, we always hesitate to express our own God-given talents out. Okay, so one of the important principles, in terms of mathematics, not to apply in our life is comparison. If you become depressed or you become little unhappy, may not be depressed, if you become unhappy in your life, you have to see, are you comparing yourself with anybody else? That should not be the case. Okay, so we should not do comparison in our lives. All right. In fact, so the person said that we have to die empty. The meaning of you have to die empty is express all your talents, express all your ideas, express all your abilities out in a way that it will be useful to the world. Don't keep it anything with you. Okay. Now you will hesitate to give out to this world, expressing, giving out, sharing your contribution to this world. You will hesitate if you start comparing yourself with the other person. Imagine I have 100 rupees. Okay. Imagine I have 100 rupees. I can give 100 rupees to other person to help. Yes or no? But if I compare myself with, somebody is there, is a crorepati, is having crores of rupees, and he's giving crores of rupees. Now, if I think that, oh, he's giving crores of rupees, how can I give my 100 rupees? Yes or no? But what will people will feel? How will people will feel about me? No, that kind of thing should not be there. Comparison is needed. That comparison is not needed. Will I be ever successful if I get into this particular field because already there are such big people there. No, no, no. No comparison. Okay? All right. Biggest mystery of life and maths. Millions of formulae made, but still X is unknown. Who is this X in our life? X is the happiness. We have made umpteen number of ways to find comfort in our lives, umpteen number of ways to purchase the goods, the experiences, and various pleasures of this world. But then we are trying to make our life as comfortable as possible. But then there is one person or one variable in life which is always unknown or which is not obtained in our life. That is basically happiness. So there is a beautiful analogy which one very great leader, he explains. We tried to make the life very cozy and comfortable like a soft bed. Okay. We try to make all types of arrangements so that we feel very comfortable. Like, we are trying to make the sitting place a very wonderful, cozy, soft bed. Okay, you made all arrangements, the fiber is so wonderful, and then you have put wonderful, very soft sponges inside, and it's looking so great from distance, it's so excellent. And then you try to go there and sit. As soon as I sit, I'm coming and I'm sitting, as soon as you sit, something is pricking from below. What's that? Everything is seeming to be very wonderful, but then I try to sit and have nice time. Immediately there is something which is pricking me from below, and then maybe I should not be sitting here. Maybe I should be going little far. There I should be sitting. So we go there and sit. You try to sit there. Again there is one more pinprick. So imagine you have a very wonderful soft bed, but then wherever you sit there is a pinprick. There is some problem, there is something missing, there is some misery in our life. Okay, so although we are trying to create such wonderful facilities in every possible way, there seems to be a pinprick. There seems to be that we are a little bit far from happiness. So this is a beautiful equation. So what we are trying to do, our life starts with birth, it ends at death. So from birth to death, we are trying to accumulate happiness. We are trying to accumulate happiness. There is the search for happiness is on. The search for happiness is on. In Sanskrit, there is a beautiful statement. It is said that Atyantika sukha pravritti, Atyantika dukkha nivritti. What it says is every effort that all of us are putting, every word that we say, every action that we perform, every thought that crosses our mind is all for one single reason, one single purpose, so that to increase our happiness, to reduce our misery. This is what we are trying to do. But then what is happening is with all our efforts, it seems that happiness is still far. Yes or no? Okay. Now, common success formula of life. Now, why with all our efforts, still we are putting our best of efforts in our lives. We are sincere, we are genuine, we are trying our level best so that we can receive that H word, happiness, in our lives. But then always it is going far. What may be the reason? What may be the reason? Maybe we have a wrong definition of happiness. Maybe we have a wrong definition of success. So, okay, let us look at some common success formulae that people have in their lives. So we call it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 formula. What is it? If I have 6-digit monthly salary, 5 guntas land, in outskirts of city, and if I have 4-wheeler, of course 4-wheeler car, high end, something like Benz or Lamborghini or something like that, high end one, Jaguar, and if I have a 3 BHK flat in the middle of the city, and if I have 2 little kids and 1 sweetheart, I'll be happy. This is what I need to have so that I can be happy. I could be called a success in life. Hmm. But then there are many people who have all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but still there is something missing in life. Yeah. So things versus people. Actually, nowadays people are very much addicted to things. Hmm. Especially especially nowadays with digital devices which are which are wired and powered by internet. People all the time they are with digital devices, huh? With sophisticated things, and they have no time for people. In fact, whatever happiness I want, I try to just swipe little things on the mobile, I get everything what I want. But then it is said that things are supposed to be used and people are supposed to be loved. But what is happening nowadays, one big wrong formula that people are applying without their consciously knowing, it is true that many a times we love things and we use people. A husband may love his mobile phone very much and he may just use his wife to get some food. It's possible. Huh? People are loving things and using people. This is one of the wrong formula that people apply in their lives, which bring them misery. Why? Because however nicely you try to live your life, there are going to be some problems in life. There are going to be some challenges. When some challenges hit us, things can't give a solution, right? Your bank account can't give you a solution, or your mobile phone can't give you a solution. You need a person who cares for us, who cares for you, who who catches your hand and says that hey, come on, I'm there for you. Don't worry. So at times of greatest need, what we need is people, not things. But one of the biggest wrong formula that people do apply in their lives is loving things but not and using people. That's a wrong strategy. Hmm. All right. Other success formulae in life that people apply: a college degree is equal to knowledge, a well paid job is equal to a satisfaction. Is it true? If you have a good rank, is basically a respect. Now I can say, actually, in 2011, it was, I think, in April month, April 20th or something. That is the day I got results, and I got rank one. And oh, ho, for 2 days, non-stop, not 2 days, it's more than 2 days, many days actually, non-stop, so many calls were coming. And people were saying, Arey Sabash, wonderful, you have done something so great. People were giving kind of lot of respect for me. But then suddenly I felt, are they really respecting me? Or many times, all of us do have this experience. You get some good marks in a particular paper or something. People come and say, come on, Sabash, you have done, great job. So on the face, they are saying that, they are appreciating you, but, beside, behind they say, Arey, he's a bookworm. All the time he keeps studying only. He's like, donkey. So basically, what we are trying to say is, of course, college degree can fetch you knowledge, but then just a college degree may not be equal to knowledge. Similarly, just well-paid job may not be satisfaction. Just rank may not fetch you respect. Now, let me tell you. So, uh, my wife, now she doesn't ever respect me for the rank. Seriously, he doesn't care. Also, I'm AR1 or AR2 or whatever it is. If I ever had any rank in my life, actually, people don't really get touched in their hearts by these external things. Please know for sure. It's not about our external achievements that we have, the satisfaction, respect, etc. These things are not mm, something which comes by some external things. The respect a person gets by his values in life, the quality of his lifestyle, what is the purpose he or she is living for. That's what actually fetches the respect, not how much money I get, what is the rank that I have, etc. Anyway, going ahead, money is equal to success. Is it? Now, okay, fine. Let me go ahead. So here is a kind of mathematical jugglery to tell you one very important principle. Please pay attention to. You see, to find pleasure, one needs time and money. Correct? So pleasure is equal to time into money. You have sufficient money, you have sufficient time. It seems that you can have pleasure. So also we know time is money. So in place of okay, time is equal to money. That means pleasure is equal to time is money. So money into money. So money square. Pleasure is equal to money square. More the money, more pleasure you can get. Also we know one more thing, that money is the root of all problems. If there was not a lot of money, there will not be so much of scams. There will not be so much of crimes. There will not be so much of cruelty. It is all for money. Yes or no? So money is the root of all problems. Now you square it. So if you square it, so money square is equal to problems. Now money square was pleasure. So pleasure is equal to problems. Now what we are trying to say is, the time you start to chase after pleasure, especially a selfish pleasure, that is the time you get into a problem. The very efforts that you put, the very endeavors you take in your life to chase after selfish pleasures is the reason for all problems. Now here is, so if you want happiness, never search for happiness. Now here is another important formula that we are saying. Once, so Buddha was asked, actually it was one person went to Buddha and he asked, Swamiji, I need to be happy. What should I do? I want happiness. Buddha said, remove I, remove want. What remains? Happiness. So remove I refers to ego, and want is basically selfishness. You remove your ego and selfishness from your life, and if you live for others' happiness, if you live for the value of service, then you'll be happy.
Într-o seară cu costică, eu cu sticlă, el cu sticlă. Am udat cu mâna noastră florile de pe fereastră. În rest ce-o rămas în sticlă, i-am turnat și lui pisică. Nu știu floarea ce-o se simte, dar pisica da cântă. Și noi cântăm cu dântea, hopa, dânia, dânia, hopa. Toată lumea toată-i încântată de pisica talentată. Hopa, hai că-i bună, hopa, nu i-am glumă, toți în casă pe costică, să le mai aduc o sticlă. Să le mai aduc o sticlă. Toți în casă pe costică, să le mai aduc o sticlă. Peșteșorii se nutacă, le-am turnat și lor o leacă. Numai razele din tot muteau, pot și-au rămas mute. Nu știu să fie mâine, dar acum la toți e bine. Cum să vedem, măi costică, sigur nu pot apă în sticlă. Dar ce-o fi cost acolo, hopa, dânia, hopa, toată lumea toată-i încântată de sticluța fermecată. Hopa, hai că-i bună, hopa, nu i-am glumă, până dimineață toată lumea cântă numai dunia. Cântă numai dunia. Până dimineață toată lumea cântă numai. Ei, hopa, dunia, hopa, toată lumea toată.
You're able to hear me now? Now, Akshay?
Yes, sir, we are able to hear
Yeah.
you.
So if that pig was not so much after the, the happiness of eating that cookies, he would not have gone through so much of misery and frustration. So I'm going to derive few formulae which are important for to solve the equation of life so that, the result will be happiness. Now, first one is we have to accept reality. Now, here is one. Life without love, or life with love, life plus love, it is happy. Life without love, it is sad. So we are trying to write in terms of equation. Now, if you add these two equations, plus love minus love is cancelled. You have 2 life is equal to happy plus sad. Life is equal to happy plus sad divided by 2. So life always comes with a package. There will be some times where life goes on really well, and sometimes life goes on in a very low phase. There are going to be some successes in our life. Sometimes it's like, a very bad failure that we have to face. Now, if we understand that, it's a package, just like if you have a coin, you have the head as well as the tail. But then if we have a right vision towards the failures, right vision towards the bad phases, in fact, for example, a particular failure that we ever face in our life, it may not be actually a failure if you understand one important thing. Just like sometime before we said that, the world is a classroom. Now, failure is a better teacher than success. Many times, failures and some sad moments in our life can tell us where we are going wrong. Yes or no? If we only understand that lesson, so failures do come to our life to teach certain lessons in our lives. So it's very important that, yes, we accept number one, that, in life, there will be always some phases where we'll be happy, some phases where we are sad, some success, there will be some failures, but failures are not failures if we learn the lessons of life. So we have to understand, we have to accept this reality that, it's not going to be a bed of roses. No, it's not going to be always. Second one, okay, kabhi khushi kabhi gum. Yeah. Second one, reduce expectations. Reduce expectations from life itself. Reduce expectations, especially from people. It is said that disappointment is equal to expectation by reality. If your expectations from people are more, the disappointment also will be more. If you don't accept reality well, you don't accept the reality well, that means reality factor is less, disappointment again will be more. Sometimes we have to let people do what they want. We don't expect the people to behave the way we expect them to behave. You have to let them act in their own way and see how much happiness that gives in your life. Reduce expectations. And third, journey from selfish to selfless. Oh my God. This is something like, root. It is like, very, very important formula. Don't be selfish. Don't be selfish. The pig was miserable because it was selfish. So here again, in terms of mathematical formula, to get, it is 2 times get, to get. We can't get always, so it creates problems. To give, again, to give, we can't give always, that also gives problem. Many times we want to give or share our feelings, we want to give to other person the way we think is best, but the other person may not feel that, that is right. So instead of to get and to give, just double them. Instead of 2, you put 4. Forget and forgive. So forget the bad past, they forget the mistakes of others, forget the favors that you did to others, and forgive the mistakes also of the others. Then what happens is the relationships become conducive. Now, actually, all these principles are, so just forgive and forget. Don't have too many expectations. Don't be so selfish. And so we said 3 formulas. 3 formulae. First one we said is accept reality. Second one is reduce expectations. Third one we said go from selfishness to selflessness. And then we also have to give a definition of richness. Who is a rich person? So richness of a person is not how much money one have, but how many things one have that money cannot buy. This is a very nice statement. Now, many things in our life are priceless because they can't be fetched with how much ever money you give. For example, real relationships can't be purchased by money. You can't purchase mother, you can't purchase with father, you can't purchase father, you can't purchase good spouse, you can't purchase children. Basically, relationships are very, very valuable. You can't purchase them with money. Similarly, the satisfaction, the purpose, the meaning that you have, they're all so valuable. That is actual money, actual richness. So, universal formula for fulfillment of heart. All we need is love. Actually, SBI has a new venture. This is not venture exactly. Digital platform called as YONO. You only need one. YONO. You know this. So actually, actual YONO. You only need one thing, that is love. Actually, all of our hearts is actually hankering for love. So there is okay. A few more. This is a Vedantic statement which basically summarizes our nature. Everyone in this world, so every living entities, the most cherished longing of heart is love. If you have everything else of this world, but no person whom you can share selfless affection, then everything seems very empty. Now, here is an example of a, I don't think I have the time for this. Okay, I'll explain to summarize this. So there was a kid, and the father is really rich. Father is really, really rich, and he's always busy. And he's a rich father, and he created a wonderful facility for the child to live in. The house was like palace. Every kind of pleasure and happiness and eatable and play, toy, everything possible was arranged in the house. There were many servants there to assist the child to have nice time. And one day the child asks one of the servants, I see a person there in the balcony. Who is he? Then they say that, actually he's your father. He's only arranging all these things for you. Oh, really? He's my father? Acha, acha, acha. Okay. So he goes and, he asks his father, okay, father, how much do you earn per year? He says some very big number. Okay, that means how much money you earn per month? It's 7.5 lakhs, he says. Okay, 7.5 lakhs. That means how much do you earn per day? Something like 25,000? Okay, 25,000. That means every 1 hour of your time is equivalent to something like 1,000 rupees or something like that. So he picks up 2,000 rupees note and gives to the father and says, can you please give 2 hours of your time to me? So basically every one of us actually are looking for a satisfying relationship where we can exchange love. That is what every one of us are looking. And if that is missing in our life, the equation of life can't be solved in a way that happiness would be the result. So now let me go a little quick. What should I do? You see, there is axiomatic truths in mathematics. Axiomatic truths means some truths you accept, but there is no proof. For example, imaginary number, root of -1 is equal to I. You accept it, but there is no proof. Okay. So similarly, there is an axiomatic truths in our lives also. For example, this body is not all in all. Soul exists. We are not this body, but we are spirit souls. This life is not all in all. There is a future life also. Similarly, we are not all in all. There exists Lord. God does exist. Now, I want to bring immediately one. So, look at these videos. There's one amazing videos. Please try to.
The physical universe operates mathematically. As Galileo put it, the book of nature is written in the language of mathematics. Scientists do not use mathematics merely as a convenient way of organizing the data. They believe that mathematical relationships reflect real aspects of the physical world. Science relies on the assumption that we live in an ordered universe that is subject to precise mathematical laws.
Okay, this short video says that This world is not a haphazard thing. Everywhere there is certain precise mathematical laws which are there behind. Okay, going ahead. Now, whether it is thermodynamics, chemistry, or physics, everywhere there are laws which can be precisely formulated using a precise mathematical laws. That means there is a beautiful design which has gone behind the creation of this world. There's another one.
Establishing applicability of math to the physical world. In 1960, the Nobel Prize-winning physicist and mathematician Eugene Wigner published an article that stunned the scientific community entitled "The Unreasonable Effectiveness of Mathematics in the Natural Sciences." Wigner concluded that the effectiveness of mathematics is a miracle, which we neither understand nor deserve.
Okay.
Philosopher Philo of Alexandria offered this analogy. When a king wants to build a city, a trained architect first designs in his mind a plan of all the parts of the city that are to be completed. Then he begins to construct the city out of stones, looking at the model and ensuring that the material objects according to the plan. Mathematics and physics work so well together because the same mind that designed the universe on a mathematical model also built the universe on the same mathematical model. All of this adds up to an argument for the existence of God that goes like this. If God does not exist, the applicability of mathematics is just a happy coincidence. But the applicability of mathematics is not just a happy coincidence. Therefore, God exists. Eugene Wigner was right. The effectiveness of mathematics in the physical world is quite literally a miracle, which is best explained by the existence of God.
Okay. So basically, Lord Kelvin says that if you scientifically think deeply enough, the beauty and the precise laws and mathematical precision within this world proves the fact that God does exist. Now, why we are bringing this aspect? Because now we are living in this body, in this particular world. Now, the very detailed analysis, scientific analysis proves that this world is designed with a very great precision. That means it is designed by someone. Okay, it is. Then immediate question comes is, for example, if you have a machine, how do you operate the machine in such a way that you get maximum advantage of it? It is by following the manual given by the manufacturer. So that is how you get the maximum out of the machine. So similarly, this life, we can get maximum out of it, and we can find the purpose out of this life if we follow the laws, or if we live in harmony with the God's laws. So here is applying formula without following the guidelines of formula maker. This is what we get into. It adds anxiety, subtracts happiness, multiplies problems, and divides relationship. That is the example of modern math. But then, if we follow or live in harmony with God's laws, actually here are some actual research which was conducted. Let me just read it out. People who attended a spiritual program at least once a week lived average 7 years longer than those who don't attend at all. Okay, so conclusion is a high spiritual quotient or faithfulness to God appears to benefit people of all means, educational level, and ages. And this is called The Evidence by Patrick Glynn. He says religious believers are found to be less prone to suicide, alcohol abuse, drug abuse, divorce, stress, and depression, etc. So let me give you one. Oh, a lot of things are there to share. Okay, let me just go here. One formula that I would say that it is a one-stroke formula, which is like this. One is like God, zero is like our worldly achievements. Without one, n number of zeros has no meaning. You may have a lot of achievements, but if you do not have one before that, it is of no use. Just like we have a lot of zeros, but you do not have one before it. So we may have a lot of achievements in our life. You put one, you put God, and basically what do you mean? You use all your skills in the service of God and humanity, then it has a lot of value. And one more formula to remember: 1 plus infinity is equal to infinity. So we have seen many wrong formulae, many right formulae in today's class. But in order to apply the right formulae in life, we require inner strength. We require the inner empowerment by which you can use the right formulae. For example, being selfless, it's not that easy. It's very easy to say, be selfless, don't be, don't chase after selfish happinesses. It is very easy to say, but in order to be selfless, in order to be self-controlled, in order to be self-disciplined, it requires a lot of strength. So that strength comes by this formula, what we are saying, 1 plus infinity is equal to infinity. 1 is limited, infinite is like infinite. So infinite is God, 1 is us. If we connect ourselves with the grace of God, the blessings of the Lord, we will be able to do that which is very difficult otherwise on our own. So here is one small thing. Now let me, with this I'm going to complete. So here there is a funny derivation. No study is equal to fail. If you study, there is not going to be any fail. Just add these two. No study plus study is equal to fail plus no fail. So I take study common, here fail common. So you are getting study is equal to fail. So you may study a subject, but still fail. What we are trying to say is we may know many things in life, but then in normal exam, even if you don't apply what you learn, if you just write in the exam paper, you may pass. Okay. But then in life, it's not like that. Life demands application more than theory. So one statement is there, which I like very much. The flow of life punishes inaction or not application, but it rewards hugely even the smallest of applications. So I would like to tell one very important thing and then we'll close today's talk. So fulfillment of yoga is basically a practice of adding God in your life. So what we are saying is this, follow this 1 plus, why it is not working? Something is going on. Anyway, so 1 plus infinity is equal to infinity. Remember this one particular formula wherein add God in your life. See the magic that unfolds. So what happens is, at least in my own life, what happened is this. When I was preparing, so basically yoga, the practice of yoga is meant, actually many times we have a misunderstanding that yoga is for good health, etc. Yes, that is a part of yoga, but not the conclusion of yoga or the goal of yoga. The goal of yoga is actually this, that to connect ourselves with God's grace so that we can do that which is very difficult on our own to do, to live right. Just like I was saying in the beginning of the class, that you have to apply the right steps to solve the equation of life. So in order to take up that right steps, we require great inner strength. That inner strength comes from yoga. Now, there are many types of yoga or meditation which are present. One of the very, very wonderful and very effective ways, which personally, this is from my side, so at least because I practice it, I can say it to all of you. One of the very wonderful way that you connect to the grace of God is by chanting the holy names of the Lord. There are so many names of God. There is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. There is also Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama. There is like this. There are many names of God. They are all very holy. By regular repetition of these mantras, give a great inner strength, great fulfillment, that it acts as an inner compass to us so that we can act rightly in our lives. So I would suggest that you can try to practice the mantra meditation, especially the practice that I do is the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Basically, this chanting of Hare Krishna can be compared to an antivirus. An antivirus is very, very essential to remove the viruses in the computer so that computer can act effectively. So similarly, the chanting of the holy names acts as the antivirus in our systems to remove the selfish passions, the selfish cravings that are there present in our heart, which makes us distracted, which makes us do something very wrong and increases the service attitude. So my request to you is try to allow the miracle what God's grace can do to your life. So thank you so much. We wish you a very happy life in harmony with nature and God, the Supreme, without whose sanction we can't apply any success formula to solve the equation of life.
So we will be having Dr. Yuvraj Bhosle sir. He is a professor of anatomy and doctor for last 24 years. Sir has served as 18 for 18 years as a college faculty cum warden of residential hostels in college, and sir is an expert dramatist. In fact, he is the coordinator of the Goloka Players Drama Club, like that. So we'll be very fortunate to have his association uh, next week. So I request all of you to please mark the timings in your calendar to attend that also. Mostly same time we will have. Further informations we will let you know through WhatsApp group or SMS or email, like that.
I can personally say you can't afford to miss the next class then.
Yes, sir, really.
So Yuvraj Singh sir.
Yuvraj Bhosle, sir.
Yuvraj Bhosle. Oh my God, he's a very, very senior person. It will be an excellent time that you can have with him and to learn wonderful things. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yeah, so we have the results of quiz ready with us. So the top scorer for us today is Sulaksh with 10,830 points.
Wow.
Great. Then second one we have Raja Satyananda with 10,120 points. And third one we have Akshay Srivastav with 10,040 points. So we heartily congratulate all the toppers for the quiz. And they have heard the class also very attentively indeed. So all the toppers will receive special goodies from our club side. In fact, we have a long list and the competition was really very close. Like we have scores, we have ranks differentiation in like 8,000, 7,000 also, so many. Yeah, so we thank all of you